What's going on, trainers? We're talking about episode 109 of Pokemon Horizons, and what a fun episode of Pokemon Horizons it was. One of the things I love most about Pokemon is when certain episodes are filled with a lot of lore. And for me, I knew this going into it because Tinkaton is one of my favorite Paldean Pokemon. And I'll read a little scripture or a little scripture. I'll read the Bible verse of Pokemon by one Arceus. No, I'll read from the Pokedex entry for Tinkaton. So this episode featured Tinkaton, or featured Tinkatuff evolving into Tinkaton because she finally perfected her hammer that she wanted. This one here reads, okay, so I'm just going to read this excerpt from it, and then we'll talk more about the episode. But the biology of Tinkaton, this is coming from Bulbapedia, reads, Tinkaton wields a crude, gigantic metal hammer that weighs over 220 pounds, okay? It's larger than its own body. So this is why Tinkatuff had to evolve to be able to hold it. The hammer appears to have been made using the old hammer that Tinkatuff used to use. Tinkaton had as a Tinkatuff as its base, with several scraps of metal colored in varying shades of gray and purple welded onto it. The hammer also has a spiked beige axe-like structure on the top. Although the hammer is heavy, Tinkaton can actually swing it with ease using its whole body. Now here's where it's fun. Tinkaton is intelligent and has a reckless personality. It swings its hammers at rocks to send them flying into the sky. This is why let me read that back. It swings its hammer at rocks to send them into the sky, aiming to hit flying Corviknight. Because of this, flying taxis in Paldea actually have swapped to using Squawkabilly rather than Corviknight. So in the games, you'll notice that in the Paldean games, right, you'll see Squawkabillies carrying the taxis, and you might think, like I did, like, oh, well, it's because it's a new generation of Pokemon. There's new Paldean Pokemon. They want to feature them. But no, there's an actual legitimate reason. Is the fact that Corviknights are going to be attacked by wild Tinkatuffs and Tinkatons, and that's why they can't fly there. The Pokemon will also steal anything that it wants and take it back to its dwelling. It has been observed using its hammer as its bed to sleep on. So this is a really cool lore piece here, and it was featured in this game too, because, or in this anime episode as well, because in the anime episode, the flying taxi guy was like, "Oh, you want to go to Paldea? I can't. Like, Corviknight can't make that. It's too far. Yada yada yada." But really, it ended up being because of the whole entire Tinkaton stuff, and it was exactly what happened, because Tinkaton's like, oh shit, look at that in the sky. I need that metal for my hammer. So I just thought it was such a cool episode. Then they end up fighting the explorers as well too. You know, Sango and whatever his name is there as well too. And they end up fighting them, and that's what leads to Tinkatuff evolving officially as it wraps up and it finishes its hammer. Outside of that, that was really all that happened. The episode was really used as a catalyst for what's going to happen next week as they get drawn into the explorers, whatever strong sphere area, and hopefully that's where the 6 heroes are going to reside. Now, next week's episode, let me see if they had a name for next week's episode here. Let me just validate next week's episode's name. The 6 heroes bear their fangs. Yeah, so that's what it's called. 6 heroes bear their fangs. So they're going to come to the explorers, probably like Scientarium place or whatever that Spinel has, and they're going to face off against them. And hopefully they can break the 6 heroes out next week because they're bearing their fangs. And one of the questions I've had is, are they just going to immediately all be under 𝐒𝐡𝐚𝐧𝐬𝐭? How are the 6 heroes? Like, I don't know what's going to happen if she'll be able to retain them. Since Lucius is technically officially dead and gone now. So we'll see what ends up happening there. But yeah, excited for next week. And this episode was really good stuff because of all the heavy lore that it had, which loved it. All right, my friends, I'll see you guys next week. Peace out.